Oh man, I love it.
Hi, my name is Val Johnson, and I'm with Vasaj Communications. I am so honored to have with us today Dana Rosser. Dana is the author of the book Through Thick and Thin, Facing Obesity Through the Eyes of a Loved One. How are you today, Dana?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm so
Oh,
excited
we're
here.
we're excited. We're so excited here today. It's going to be a wonderful conversation. I've been anticipating it all day.
Yes, me
So,
too.
what we know about you is that you grew up in Akron, Ohio. You were a shy child growing up, weren't you?
Yes, I was very shy. I was really, really thin and really, really tall, and so I had self-esteem issues. So I became very shy. But
And I can identify with that. I may not have been quite as tall. I was 5'10" in high school,
yeah,
but I had those same self-esteem issues where I wanted to stay in the background and and hide if I could.
that's right. I'm 6'2" now, and I was 5'9" in the sixth grade, and I'll never forget. I always had to stand in the back and with the teachers, and it just made my self-esteem. I wanted to hunch down because I wanted to be the same size as everybody else.
Absolutely, I know how you feel.
Yeah,
So we know that you grew up and you fell madly in love with a 460-pound Southern gentleman.
absolutely, my butcher.
Your Butchie Poo. Wonderful. So, speak to us about the motivation behind your book and how, your story intertwines to make what is really just a phenomenal read today. Speak to us about the motivation and the challenges that you experienced and the mindset that it took for you to come out on the other side as the phenomenal woman that you are today.
Thank you. Yes. Well, when you brought up my childhood, I used to model. Really thin, pretty long hair. Everybody thought I was beautiful. I didn't feel that way, but everybody else did.
Right.
So I modeled, and people judged me because of how I looked, this exterior. And some people thought because before they knew me that I was stuck up, you know. And so
Yeah.
people judged me in that way. So I never wanted to be judged for this shell. So that kind of was
Right.
the foundation of who I was. So when I met Butch, as you had mentioned, he was 460 pounds when we met. I,
Mm-hmm.
I looked past his weight because just that's just who I am. I never wanted
Right.
anybody to judge me, and I didn't want to judge him for that. Plus, we
Right.
had so much fun. I could just be myself. This man is a world-renowned surgeon, and I thought, in my mind, well, maybe he's kind of stuck up. He didn't know how to have a great conversation, but it was nothing like that. I fell in love with him. I looked beyond, and people judged me for being with him because they saw this shell, this 460-pound guy, and thought, well, how could she be with him? She's with him just because he's a doctor. And it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. We dated for 3 years, went through premarital counseling, and I got married to him.
Wow.
And it'll be 25 years actually in December of this
Oh,
year.
wow. Congratulations.
Yes. However, being morbidly obese, which he was, and morbidly obese is defined as being 100 pounds or more over your ideal weight,
Mm-hmm.
came with challenges. It came with challenges for him, and also came with challenges for me and my children. And so I wanted to support him, but our quality of life was suffering for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how to help him. I didn't even know how to talk to him about it. So I reached out, I looked online, I looked for books, I looked for chat rooms, and honestly, there wasn't anything that I thought was appropriate to help me. So the motivation for me to write this book was for my own need. I needed it. And so I thought to myself, wow, there are 18 million people who are morbidly obese in America.
Wow.
And those people have relatives and friends. So I know that they are suffering silently and need assistance in how to support their loved one. So that's what made me write the book, as well as the last thing was God pushing me and tapping me on the shoulder. I didn't want to tell my story because I felt like, this was a sensitive subject. Everybody doesn't need to know my business.
Right.
God was like, no, no, you have purpose in your pain. Okay.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
purpose in your pain, and other people need to hear your story so they can know that there's hope and they can have the tools to be able to support their loved ones. So that was my
Mm.
journey.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
your journey is a phenomenal one, and I'm so glad you decided to share it because clearly you're making a difference in the lives of other people who are
Yes.
reading your book. I read the book and I was inspired. I don't personally have a situation with someone in my life who is obese. I haven't experienced that in my own family, but I could really appreciate the advice that you gave for anyone who's experiencing any type of family conflict.
That's right.
It could be a couple, it could be family, it could be a friend, but we all have different types of challenges, and that's what I like about your unique writing style is that it's motivational and uplifting. You're very transparent in
Yes.
talking about your experience and the lives of those that were around you,
Yes.
and you show us how we can come out on the other side in such a brighter light. You show us that, you know, as you're going through it, it may be very difficult, but you come out realizing it was worthwhile,
Right.
because you have a dynamic message
Yeah.
that you've told that is really, I mean, it's just, in my opinion, it's one that it needs to be shared with everyone because we all have quote unquote challenges.
Absolutely. And with this, I just gave you the statistics of morbid obesity. You would think that there would be some type of support system in place for the family member.
Yeah.
You know how they have Al-Anon for people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol,
Right.
the
Hmm.
family, come aside and they talk about their issues. Well, this is an issue. This is a
It
disease
is.
that is really wreaking havoc on Americans. And and the way that to help them and support them is through their family. And so if you're not supporting the family to help them, then where are we at? You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever watched the 600-pound life,
Yeah.
but if you see the family members, those family members are going out and getting the food, the bad food for these people. And so I've always watched that show and thought, wow, if they could just help the family, those people who are enablers, and help
Right.
them to help their loved one, give them some tools.
Absolutely.
All they know how to do is go out and get the food because they want to make their loved one happy, but they're killing them
Yeah.
at the same time.
Killing them with love, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You also speak to us about the importance of taking care of yourself nutritionally and your overall lifestyle. That's another thing that your book has a heavy emphasis on is making sure there's a balance in your lifestyle. You can't only focus on one thing and expect that to be a cure-all for other aspects of your body.
right.
Um, for those who may be experiencing difficulty, and maybe they've lost sight of purpose, they've really tried to overcome challenges, whether it's obesity or something else in life. What advice would you give? What advice would you give for someone who really just needs to hold on, but they don't see how they can do that?
Yeah, you know, find your why.
Mm,
Someone had, my friend Nikki Klug had taught us that. And I was taking this interior design class, and I was trying to design my office. And the
hmm.
first thing she did, you knew what you would think that she would say, okay, well, let's get your colors together. What rug do you want? What wallpaper? No, the first thing she said is to find your why. Why are
Mm,
you in that space? And that just can go to anything. Um, find out what God has given you. What is your purpose? And sometimes you don't know, I understand, but it's important to get quiet and to hear from God. What do you do well? What makes you tick? What do other people say that you're good at?
right.
Own it. Don't pick something because it's popular or pick something because somebody else wants you to do it. Find your why. And for me, my why was helping other people.
Helping other people.
Always been my why. I've always wanted to help others and make others feel happy. And so my story, I felt like if I told my story, it
Hmm.
would it would help other people who are supporters, first of all, feel like they were not alone. That's
Right.
And then give them tools to make it because they really want to support their loved ones. They just don't know how.
Yeah.
And need to speak truth to power. I mean, sometimes, which is really hard for me to say right now, sometimes I was embarrassed. And that is hard to say about somebody that you love. That
Right.
doesn't mean I don't love them, but yes,
Right.
sometimes I was angry. Absolutely. I was angry because of our quality of life. There were certain things we couldn't do. We couldn't go out to concerts because he couldn't fit in the seat. And I felt bad about that, but I was also angry because it was like it was infringing on my happiness now.
That's
And
true.
so
Yeah.
how do you balance that? I love this person, but then
It's
I'm
frustrating.
I'm
Yeah.
scared at the same time, right? So you just stuff it all inside, and I really went through a depression, to be honest with you, because I didn't know how to get it out. So that was another motivating factor for me to write the book. It was therapy for me, and I just pray that other people will be blessed by it.
Well, I'm sure they are being blessed by it. What's the biggest takeaway you would love for one of your readers to have after reviewing the book or reading the book?
Well, the biggest takeaway, I just said it, is you're not alone. You are not the only person that is going
Yeah.
through it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Just to know that,
just
and
to know
and
that.
rest assured in that. Sometimes someone can tell us that, but if we don't really believe it,
That's right.
there's not going to be a change in our lives.
Exactly.
So we really have to make sure that we wholeheartedly embrace those
Right.
words as well.
Right.
So that's
And
wonderful.
also, too, that whatever feelings you're feeling, that's okay. If it's good, if it's bad, if it's scared,
Yeah.
if it's angry, you have
Yeah.
to own it in order to move on into healing. You have
Right.
to own it, okay?
That's
And
true.
stop judging yourself for feeling the way that you do. Um,
Absolutely.
and then I think the last takeaway is the person that's actually carrying the weight. I want them to know that their family members love them and they want to support them. They don't always know how. So
Right.
just be patient with us
Right. Right.
trying to help them, you know.
Right.
The last thing I'll say is that supporters really need to take care of themselves. I remember getting caught up into Butch's obesity. What I mean by that is it was almost like I was feeling like I was morbidly obese without actually carrying the weight. I
Mhm.
became reclusive. I didn't do the things that I liked because Butch couldn't do them. So I kind of lost who I was in trying to take care of him. And that is
Yeah.
not good. You have to still be who you are, take care of you, and also balance to try to take care of your loved ones.
Wow. Amazing. As I listen to you, I can only think that there are many others out there who have maybe a similar story or something that they could share to help the world, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
I think so many of us have messages caught up inside that we just haven't released onto paper,
that's
haven't taken the time or the energy to write a book.
right. Write it down. Yes.
So what advice would you give someone who has a story to share, or they've gone through enough in life where they really should be sharing their story with others, but they don't know how? They need a little bit of encouragement. What would What would you say to them in order to get them to that first step, at least, so that they can bring pen to paper?
Right, right, right. Well, you know what? Again, find out your why. Why do you want to write a story, a book? I mean, is it for you to become, famous, or is it for you to, I mean, is that your why?
Right,
It could
right.
be, but really figure out: do you really want to tell your story, and who are you writing this book for? And then you have to believe that you can do it. There was no way when I was a teenager that I ever thought I would write a book. Never, never. But God put it on my heart to write a book, and I had to actually believe that I could do it. I mean, writing a book seems like such a big.
Right, right.
And again, it took me 10 years to write that book.
Wow.
Because I'm a mom of five. My husband travels, is busy. I'm just taking
Hmm.
care of a lot of things. But I had to come to the realization that dating, you can do that. And the way that I did that, I just got a 3-ring binder and just wrote up a mock cover, and I
Hmm.
put it on my desk. And I saw it
Mm.
every day. Or I put it in my bathroom. I hung it up and it just said through thick and thin, facing obesity. Even if I didn't write anything, it was in my mind and in my spirit,
Right,
my soul.
right,
And
right.
it made me want to do it. You know what I mean? So you have
Exactly.
just your first step is to just know that you can do it, and then
Right.
put something in front of you every day and pray about it. And
And pray about it. Yeah.
it will come. I promise you. But you have to take time out to do it as well. You have to take
Absolutely.
make
You've
real
got to
good.
take the time.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
good.
Wow, that's wonderful. Well, I know you have so many other things that you do. In addition to being an author, you are a speaker.
Yes,
You have served on many panels. You're a bariatric coach.
yes,
You work with families that have experienced, that are experiencing what you went through. You help
yes.
them to come out on the other side a lot more positively. Speak to us about some of those wonderful opportunities that you were able to launch into because of the experiences that you had earlier. Speak to us about and your speaking platform as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, this book right here is an expensive business card. Okay,
Yeah.
it has given me so many opportunities, and I have to thank you, Val, because you allowed me to have articles written. I was on one of the local news stations, book signing events that I've had. So I want to thank you for helping me launch that as well.
It
Um,
was a pleasure.
yeah, it was great.
It was
Um,
fun.
it was fun. It
Yeah,
was fun,
it was.
absolutely. Um, but I really feel like for me, this is my belief, is that I was obedient to what God said to do. I didn't want to do it, but I did it because He told me to. And after that book was published, I got an opportunity to be on the Dr. Oz show with my husband, talking about my book. Okay. After that, I was invited to do a TED talk, and then from there, I was on the Tom Joyner reunion stage,
Right.
and then Erica Campbell saw me on there from Mary, and then she asked me to be on her morning show. And then I did an Akron Obesity Summit. I mean, so it keeps
Right.
going on and on and on. And God
Right.
opened up these opportunities, but you just have to take the first step. You don't have to
Absolutely.
know how it's going to be done. Just take it. Because we all so nosy. Well,
That's right.
just do what you can do and let God do the rest. Okay.
Absolutely.
So that's my
Absolutely.
advice. Just take that baby step and He'll do the rest.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, for someone who may be interested in having you to come serve as a speaker, as a part of their event, if an organization that wants you to come talk about bariatric care and maybe nutrition and health and being positively motivated as you're going through these challenges,
Yeah.
how can they reach you?
Well, they can reach me at www.facingobesity.com.
Okay.
On Facebook, I'm at Facing Obesity. And on Twitter, I'm at Facing Obesity as well. If you
Okay.
purchase the book, you can purchase it through Amazon or Barnes and Noble.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I have my copy. And yay! So I am encouraging everyone who is watching or listening to this program to make sure you go online and purchase it today. You will not be sorry. I really enjoyed reading it. As I said, it really opened my eyes to some issues that I was dealing with personally, even though I don't have this similar experience. So
Right.
it's very encouraging and motivational. Go out and buy it today. And Dana, what can I say? This was so much fun.
Oh, no, I feel like I'm talking to a friend. It was great.
Oh,
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
yeah,
it. And I
yeah,
appreciate everything you've done for me, because you've done a lot. And, it's really important for people to get their book out there and to get somebody that's representing you to help you to get in front of the
yeah.
camera and on the articles and all that. I'm telling you, it's really important. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, hey, like I said, it's our pleasure, my pleasure. I loved working with you. And I encourage any aspiring authors to, as Dana said, take that leap. Just do it. Just get started. And once you've written your manuscript, you need to make sure you have a publicist in hand. So you can always contact us at vasajcommunications.com. I'd be more than happy to talk with you to see if it's a fit for us to work together. So until then, I guess we'll sign off. But Dana, I hope you'll promise to come back and speak with us again sometime soon. Let us know where you are, how you are.
I'll be there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, then. Well, I'm going to say goodbye for
Right.
now, and thank you. And we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
All right. Take care, Val.
Okay, take care. Okay, bye bye.